Today on The Great Adventure, two friends travel to the other side of the world in search of the perfect wave. We'll join Bryan and James in South Africa, where their surf safari takes them on a cross-country road trip that pumps them up. They'll surf Cape Town's shores, swing into action on a speedy slide, learn about animal instincts at a game park, and put some sand in their surf safari. It's an adventure of twists and turns that immerses the buddies in the waters and local culture of South Africa. For James and Bryan, a surf trip to South Africa is much more than a vacation.
I met Bryan 12 years ago, well 13 years ago now. I'd see Bryan out in the water every once in a while, and we just sort of connected one time.
It's always been kind of a major thrust in our relationship, you know, going surfing, talking about surfing. We've done quite a few local surf trips, California.
Once you've traveled for surfing, it gets into your blood.
South Africa has always had an allure, especially because of the mystique that's surrounded the movies, both Endless Summer 1 and Endless Summer 2. I just want to go enjoy the land, enjoy the culture, and just enjoy whatever I get.
After a 15-hour flight from New York to Johannesburg, the longest non-stop flight in the world, the guys then fly to Cape Town. They arrive bleary-eyed but eager to inspect their valuable cargo.
And ritualistically now you pray, oh God, please, my board's made it safely.
It's good to go, no problems.
To find those secret surf spots, Bryan and James have recruited local guide Ian Farrell.
Well, the thing with South Africa, it's a huge, huge country, and some of the well-renowned spots are really far away from each other. To really figure out where you're going, how you're going to get there, you need someone like Ian to really help you out.
So is that Table Mountain right there?
That's the back of it, yeah.
Pretty cool.
The guys arrive at the Sunset Beach Country House, an inviting place that features that all-important beachfront access.
The Sunset Beach Hotel is like a little homecoming. I mean, the whole atmosphere and the view and everything when you come in from your flight.
Check this out, Bryan.
Wow,
look at that, man.
Awesome beach. Look at this place.
Let's go check the water, huh?
Yeah.
Bryan and I are pretty close. You know, we're bros, we're friends, and there's a connection between us. Sometimes he's more quiet, and I'm just obnoxious.
Oh, wave! Yeah. Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
Praying for surf pays off as Ian leads the guys to a favorite local spot, Misty Cliffs.
Looks like it might be picking up right now, huh?
Yeah, that's a fun wave.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is cooking.
I mean, there's not really much of a beach there. It's just you walk out through rocks, you go out there in the water and surf.
Kind of there, but the easiest to jump off.
Surfing to me is something that's so very soulful, so very searching, something that is consuming. I mean, there are days when you feel like garbage and you just paddle out, even if the surf's only 2 foot, it's a release.
Surfing's more than just a sport because of the fact that you're actually riding a moving medium. You're in that place where it's the force of nature of the water coming in where it meets the land.
It's something that consumes you and inspires you at the same time. It's mystical.
How'd you do out there?
It was off the hook.
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of fun
Bryan.
waves, man. And you got these beautiful rocks out here and the scenery up there. Awesome
Yeah, these
setting.
beautiful rocks are really good,
Yeah.
except for when you like
When
hit
you
them
land
real
on 'em,
hard.
yeah.
It's just not fun. But I mean, it's just one of those things. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, ow, that's owie.
When we return, the guys set out on their cross-country surf safari and slide into some unexpected excitement.
Whoa!
Friends Bryan and James have traveled to South Africa for a cross-country surf safari. They'll soon be leaving Cape Town on a road trip to Jeffreys Bay. But before they do, the guys make a stop at the Cape Colony restaurant in the Mount Nelson Hotel for a welcome change of pace.
Surf travel is typically pretty hardcore, pretty low budget. You know, we need to live it up a little bit here.
The kind of food that we do is modern South African food. We want people to go away from that restaurant and say, you can only have that flavor when you're in Cape Town. You can't have it anywhere else.
Question is, honestly, how do I eat this one?
You're on your own in that one.
Thank you for nothing.
Red Roman, I believe in the States you call it red snapper. The meat is nice and plump.
Look at that cut of fish.
What we are doing is we are just seasoning our loin of springbok. It's a little bit of dukkha spice, which is a North African type spice, which we put on. Really gives it that beautiful flavor.
Wow.
Wow. Chef's surprise. That's a pretty good surprise, huh?
I'm shocked.
The next morning, the guys are up early to begin the 8-hour, 375-mile road trip from Cape Town to their next destination, the surfing mecca of Jeffreys Bay.
Yeah,
Let's hit it. The road trip itself really defines that endless summer search. Here you are, one of your best friends in the world, and you're in a van with a new guy who becomes, again, one of your best friends, like, we're all blood now, let's do it.
Straight through there you can see the mountain range of Cape Town and the back of Table Mountain.
God, that's gorgeous.
Having Ian for a guide pays off right away, as Bryan and James learn a new way to hang 10.
Quite often our guests that come out to South Africa aren't aware of a lot of things that are between Cape Town and Jeffreys Bay. For instance, the fuffi slide, which is a long steel cable that runs for about 200 meters, about 50 meters above water level.
There's 3 important things to remember when you go down. First one is keep your arms straight. Second thing, when you get to the water, your legs straight down together and you point your toes slightly back. So the idea is your legs drag behind you and you ski on your stomach. And the third thing, hold on till you've stopped completely and then you can let go.
We're up like 200 meters, holding on to a steel bar. I'm going right away before I back out of this deal.
You ready, Bryan?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Whoa!
Gosh,
That's wild. I'm gonna build my stomach up a bit.
I hope it doesn't hurt when I land.
Later.
The fuffi slide. Can be painful. Guys will know what I mean.
Oh, God. That's gnarly, huh?
The guys continue to be reminded that the key to a long road trip is keeping a sense of humor.
It's like a
It's like a
banana
drink
split
or
or something.
something, yeah. Here we have this rented van full of guys. The ride up to Jeffreys, we get down and we get a blowout. And then it's getting a tire change. Ian comes out with the farm owner and a bicycle pump. Bicycle tire pump. So we're pumping up the van with a bike pump.
The long road gives the guys a chance to check out South African culture. For James, the trip has a poignant meaning. He first came to South Africa with his mother, who has since passed away.
What I'm looking forward to most is a fulfillment of a mother's wish, really. 10 years ago when I was here, my mom and I were working with street children, working with some boys' homes, and doing a lot of humanitarian stuff. South Africa just conjures up memories. Just that name alone, it conjures up joy and sorrow, but excitement.
The thing I discover about myself when I travel is that how much I really like to experience different cultures, different ways people do things here in life, you know, that you can really learn from.
When we return, an assembly of African animals gives the guy's wild road trip a whole new meaning. Here's what savvy travelers know about visiting South Africa. Surfers know that there are at least 50 surf spots within an hour's drive of Cape Town. Ask local surfers where the best waves are breaking. They may share a secret spot with you. Surf movie aficionados will recognize that scenes from the 1960s movie The Endless Summer were filmed at Cape St. Francis near Jeffreys Bay. When catching waves in South Africa, be sure you're not the catch of the day. Since 1990, South Africa has had more than 65 reported shark attacks, and 8 were fatal. Although temperatures in Cape Town are mild year-round, the coldest months are June, July, and August, when lows can dip to the mid-40s. Although South Africa is becoming more tourist-friendly, it's still good to travel with a guide. A local provides an insider's perspective and can identify areas inappropriate for tourists, such as where pickpocketing is a problem. Friends Bryan and James are trekking across South Africa in search of the perfect wave. Before reaching their final goal in Jeffreys Bay, they take a quick detour to the Lombardini Game Farm for a look at some of the area's wildest residents.
It's really wild, all the animals in South Africa. You're just overwhelmed by the enormous diversity of animals.
Honestly, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right, we're sitting in the back of this truck. It's a great ride. Is there any danger sitting back here, being that we're in, you know, a wild animal park?
No, there's no predators on our farm. So the only thing you get here is lynx, caracal. But they are very shy. You won't see them there as well.
As the guys enter the heart of the game park, their first encounter is more mild than wild.
Pretty friendly?
Yeah, they're very tame. But they're still very young as well.
God.
But most animals in the park aren't so happy about having visitors.
These are the oryx.
Beautiful animals.
Yeah, they are very beautiful.
Are those horns on them just for looks, or are they defensive?
Yeah, they use them for defense as well. So if you like injure them or they're mad, they can
They can gore you, huh?
Yeah, they like stick them right through the van if they want to.
Make you a shish kebab in a heartbeat.
Every time you take another look, there's something else that you've heard about your whole life growing up, and you're actually seeing it in its own setting for the first time in your life.
Check those giraffes out.
No way, look at that.
Wow, there they are.
God, they're gorgeous, man. I heard they eat men once in a while. You should be real careful, Brian, because they eat tall men only.
To be there with a friend like James and just like, check out that rhinoceros over there, look at that giraffe. You're just blown away, you know, watching these things.
South Africa is still, as it was 10 years ago, one of the most beautiful nations you could ever look at. The landscape's incredible.
Oh, check that out, man, that's wild.
You know, one of the crazy things about South Africa is these baboons you see along the road.
You can see quite a few of the females are carrying their babies underneath from them.
Now, baboons aren't cute little chimpanzees. You're not going to stick your hand out and feed them a banana unless you want your arm ripped off.
Nearing Jeffreys Bay, they pass Kailicha, one of several large squatter camps.
Bryan, this whole area here, I mean, as far as your eye can see, is all Kailicha. All their power's hijacked, all their water's hijacked.
When I was here, it was when Mandela was being voted in. I saw some very heavy things, some very frightening things.
For James, their surf destination conjures memories of his mother and her prophetic vision of his future.
We made a trip to Jeffreys Bay. And one of the last things my mom said to me when we were leaving Jeffreys was, one day you'll come back. She died 2 years ago. And it looks like what she said might come true.
The guys arrive at the Beach Music Guest House.
It's like we're here, man. Back in Jeffreys Bay.
Jeffrey. Yes. Pray for surf.
Yeah. Pray hard.
James, check this out. Look at this signatures. Shane Beshin, Jericho. Pretty
Former
cool.
world champ. This is just insane.
And number 2, Shane Beshin. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Historic.
We'd like people to really experience the vibe of J Bay and the surrounding areas, and where people can really come back and enjoy a really lovely lifestyle. And the bonus, of course, is getting perfect waves.
When we return, the guys ride the waves and do the dunes of Jeffreys Bay. Buddies Bryan and James are on a surf safari in South Africa. The final stop on their journey is the legendary coastline of Jeffreys Bay.
The surf in South Africa is very spread out and we are very spoiled for choice. But up the east coast, obviously Jeffreys Bay, being the surfing mecca of South Africa, everybody wants to go and surf there. A couple of fun little waves.
A few fun little ones.
Small day, but we're finding waves because we have to.
Yeah,
we have to.
The swell's very small, but make the best of a bad situation.
I try to have kind of a steady keel about expectations. I think sometimes if you're expecting too much of perfect surf, you're building yourself up too much. I just want to go enjoy whatever I get.
Great if we had more days in Jeffreys. It's the type of thing that you get a taste of it and it's savoring in your mouth until you get it again. You're in Jeffreys Bay, the top surf spot in the world, and when there's no waves, what do? You surf the dunes.
Ever since dunes have been around, people have been sliding down them. I think it's way better than snowboarding because you've got your shorts on, you're in the sun catching a tan by the sea.
Yeah, that board is a nice long one.
Is that fast?
And the longer they are, the quicker they go.
Oh, really?
So consider yourself lucky. You don't control your speed to begin with because you're not going to be able to turn to start. So to begin with, there's no controlling speed. You just go. All right, so from that position, jump it around, in forward, and then just go. Nice and straight up, you know.
Your turn.
I'm gone.
you're just jetting down these fairly steep sand dunes at a decent rate of speed. And when you crash, and you will experience things like ears, mouth, eyes, nostrils full of sand. A lot of speed, a lot of thrills, a lot of heavy wipeouts. It's a thrill ride. High speed, a lot of fun.
James and Bryan's surf safari has taken them across South Africa in search of waves. Along the way, they experienced a vibrant culture, made new friends, and built on their own friendship.
Once you've traveled to different parts of the world, for surfing or just for any type of exploration, it's something that you can't ever get away from.
You always remember the people you were with. You know, we had such cool guides like Ian and Derek. Hanging out with James and just doing these kind of things, experiencing these experiences will be the things that, you know, last in your memory.
You learn things about one another that you might not have ever known before. Little personality things, little habits, anything under the sun. And you walk away from it a richer friend.
Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.